Hey y'all, it's your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Wanted to come on and give you a quick life update. Your girl is finally in Tulsa. So, for those of you that don't know, I am Tanisha Shanae. I am an inspirational speaker, lifestyle strategist, author, professor, plethora of other things. But recently, I have taken a turn in my life. I left New York City to come to Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's a program called Tulsa Remote. You can go ahead to the playlist that's up here, wherever it's going to be, and you can look and follow my journey as I have transitioned from New York to Tulsa. Do I still have my place in New York? Absolutely. I still have it, I still own it. But for the moment, for this time being, I am in Tulsa. And quite frankly, I love it. Like, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I love it so much. So I wanted to come on and give you a nice quick update as to how I got here and how things has been going. So stay tuned. So yes, I am back. I am here. So let's basically go through the process. June, I found out about this program. I applied. Within 2 weeks, I got accepted and purchased the house. So I'm actually in my house that I purchased. That process was like mind blowing. And I'm going to do a separate video about that. But that took 3 weeks for me to get to the closing table. The first date that they gave me was actually the date that I actually closed. Even they were surprised because they said that normally that doesn't happen too often. So I definitely am thankful that when they said I was going to close, I actually did close. When I had to figure out, like, okay, when is it like finally? Because after the closing, I did come back for some. I came back for a week, and then I had to go back because I was like closing up some things in my life, making sure that I was getting certain appointments finalized, seeing certain doctors getting like written approval. Nothing crazy, right? But I just had to make sure that certain things was done. So I did that. And then I put the date. Like I remember I was going to try to leave 2 weeks early. I was like, I'm gonna leave in October. And something said, you're not gonna leave in October. You're gonna still leave in November. And I remember the date was on. So I had this date of like November 12th for quite some time. And I finally was just like, I'm not going to push my date up. I'm going to keep my date. And I left. Now, I was supposed to, like the week of, I literally went through, I'm flying to, I'm driving back to, I'm flying. And then I ended up having to drive. So what happened was someone said that they would drive with me, right? So the time that I said that I was leaving, I'm taking my car with me. I need a vehicle here. It's Tulsa. It's not like New York City where I can drive. Let me take the transportation. They do have buses, but it's too cold to be outside waiting for a bus. No shade. No shade. But they were like, I'm gonna drive with you. You don't know the Midwest, like you never driven there, I've never like I've been to Chicago, but I've never been anywhere else outside of Chicago as far as the Midwest was concerned, Ohio, any of those states. So they were more so concerned about me being by myself on the road. Unfortunately, get a phone call, they're not able to go. So I either could wait, find somebody else, transport my car through a company and fly, or drive myself. So initially, I booked the flight and I was like, I'm gonna just find a company. I started to get quotes. I was getting quotes as cheap as 650, and they was going up to as much as $1,200 to transport my car. So that Monday, the Monday of the week that I was leaving, finally spoke to the broker. The broker was like, they gave me one quote and the price ended up being $1,100. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. So I canceled my flight. I mean, I got my credit. Shout out to Delta. And I was able to, I was like, I'm gonna have to just get my car service, make sure that everything is good. I'm driving. Like, I booked the hotel for Indianapolis. That was kind of like the center point. And I said, I'm just gonna drive. Like, I have to get to Oklahoma. I can't sit around and I can't wait for people. I cannot modify and continue to prolong this process. I got to get there. And I set aside all of my fears. And it was like, that was what, 1,390 miles that I drove in 2 days. I left on a Thursday and I got home Friday night. I was very determined. When I got to the scariest point, which was between Missouri and Oklahoma, there's a turnpike. I still have to find the name of that turnpike, but it scared the crap out of me. Like, literally, it was just pitch dark because daylight savings. So everything gets dark quick. So it's like 5 o'clock and it's pitch black. Nowhere to turn, can't turn around. It's like no place for you to stop to say, I'm gonna get a hotel, I'm gonna stay. It was like, you just gotta go. You gotta go hard and go home. Like, that's how I felt. So I literally just had to keep going, and I hate driving 10 and 2. I wasn't driving 10 and 2. But in my mind, I felt like I was like one of those scared drivers, but I was petrified because it's a 2-lane, pitch dark. You got incoming traffic, tractor trailers. And then we got to Oklahoma side, they talking about 75 miles per hour is the speed limit. What are y'all talking about? Like 75? I'm not a 75 girl. So that was definitely an experience. That I would definitely say that. It was an experience. But, I would not trade it in the world for anything because it felt freeing. Like, I felt free. And I do believe that me going to Myrtle Beach last year was the gateway to open it up for me to get to this point. Because if you guys don't remember, last year, I drove to Myrtle Beach by myself. Similar situation. Person couldn't come with me. Last minute, they couldn't go. And I'm in Myrtle Beach. You need a car. So that was like 700 miles because I drove to Charlotte and then drove over. I stopped in Charlotte to see some people and then drove over to Myrtle Beach. But that was like the first time that, going a couple of hundred of miles at one time, that's what I did. And that was me having like 2 years not being on the road, being afraid. I got like this fear of being on the highway out of nowhere. And that was definitely like, you got to go. So me going there was kind of the opening for me to be like, I can do this. So sometimes you don't realize how, even if it's a year apart, something can happen. That's just it's going to be the first step that God needs for you to take in order to prepare you for the next journey that you're about to face, even though you don't know that you're about to face this journey. So that's where I have been. Now, how do I like it? Honestly, I love it. There's like simple things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy getting up in the morning and every morning being able to go out into my backyard, onto my deck and just standing there, listening to birds chirping, smelling fresh air. Like, I enjoy that. Those are things that I was not able to do. In New York City, we were so accustomed to just going outside and like you instantly seeing a bunch of people, being in an apartment building, you see people, you get in the elevator, you see someone, and you're going outside, you go to the stores right across the street. So you have all these people. And sometimes when you first wake up, you don't want to just dive into a group of people, especially if you live alone. Like, I live alone. But I was able to finally just go in and get up out of my bed and just go out. I put my robe on and I just go literally stand outside and I just take it all in. Right. And I love having this space. Like the landscaper came last week and, started to get my yard in order because by the time I closed and by the time I came back, my grass in the front was really tall. And when he came, he started to cut things down for me. I saw that I have a fireplace, like a fire pit in the backyard, like things that when I came to see the house, you didn't see because it was not there. Like it was like not visible because of the fact that there was a whole bunch of stuff, grass, tall grass, things of that nature. So I just appreciate and I look forward to the spring to be able to start, putting out fruits and vegetables and like really gardening and putting out like a nice flower bed in the front. And it's just like you realize what you do have and you have access to. Um, I just like being able to get places like you go a certain mile, like a mileage, and you can get there in like less than 20 minutes. Literally, I feel like the longest that it's taken me someplace, it's taken me to get somewhere was the first time I went to Trader Joe's. That was a Saturday night. So everybody is out. I have to pass like one of the largest shopping areas, shopping centers. So you got a Target, you got a Walmart, you got I think TJ Maxx, a whole bunch of places. So I had to get through that. That was the only time that it probably took me 25 minutes to get somewhere. And that was just because I had to get past that little section. Other than that, you can typically get 15 miles in like 15, 20 minutes. Guys, that's not heard of in New York. Like, we're not doing that in New York. New York, you 15 minutes, you probably go 2 blocks. 15 miles, it's going to take you about 2 hours. Like, these are the things that we are normally accustomed to. And again, I had to stop and realize this is not normal. And I'm not accepting this as a norm anymore. So now I can just get in my car and get to Target. Get to Walmart. I don't go to Target, no shade. But to get to Walmart, because I'm a Walmart girl, I can get to Walmart in like 8 minutes. 7. Speed limit out here is 40. Like on a regular street. Like, guys, like these are things that I'm just like, I get excited about because it's like, and again, you heard me complain about the 75 miles per hour on the highway, but I'm okay with going 40 on like the regular streets. Some areas it's like 35. Okay. But it's not 25. New York, our speed limit is 25. Who got time for that? And then we got like speed cameras every 5 blocks. I'm not talking about that. But other than that, I'm adjusting to having like to deal with the HVAC system, how to like set up my thermostat. A lot of work has been still getting done. Like they came today to do the installation in my house. So that was something, contemplating getting solar. Again, all conversations, people are coming in, looking at things, furniture's coming. I put together my dining room table. I got my sofa, my bed came. I got my king size bed, y'all. I be laid out. I be like in the middle of the bed. Even though I've always just wanted a king size bed. And now that I have enough space, like I had enough space in Brooklyn. My apartment in Brooklyn, I can get a king size in there. So I can't say that. But it would just be hard because of how the hallway is. But nevertheless, I can still get one in there. But I now officially have a king size bed. So this week is Thanksgiving. And I am alone for Thanksgiving. But I don't feel alone. And I'm going to do a separate video about that as well. Because there's a little bit of revelation came about over the weekend and yesterday. And I'm really I want to talk through because I want people to understand there is a true difference between being lonely and just being alone and being comfortable with being alone. And I have realized I have people make me feel bad for being okay with being alone. And I'm like, that's not a problem. It's actually quite healthy because I found 2 articles that came out, ironically, very recent that confirmed it. So it was just like, we got to talk about this because these are things that I want people to start understanding. This is why I say healing is such an important aspect because when you are healing, certain things such as being by yourself becomes a healthy thing because you really start to understand like what it is that you like to do, we going too deep right now. But Thanksgiving is coming up, and I was online today looking at like, okay, what's happening this week? I'm off Thursday and Friday. What can I do? So like, I think one of the locations in town is doing a Christmas tree lighting. They're gonna have like carol. They're gonna have caroling. They're gonna have hot apple cider and hot cocoa all throughout in the evening on Thanksgiving. So I might do that. Friday is like a winter. It's the kickoff for like the Winter Fest. I'm gonna go do that. Like all the little small town things that I've always wanted to do, I'm gonna do that. Probably not this weekend, maybe next weekend. Route 66 and the other part not in Tulsa, because Route 66 is still an active highway. They actually call it the American Highway. But in another part of Oklahoma, not too far away, Route 66, they have like a mile of different activities based around Christmas. So same thing. So I'll probably do that next weekend. Don't want to overwhelm myself, but I want to just get out and start doing things. I want to, get to start meeting people. I didn't get to do my orientation for Tulsa Remote. I won't do that until next week. So that's something that it was my bad, my fault. Can't blame anybody but me. I missed the orientation last week, but I'm gonna get it done. And this way I can really start to connect and network with the people that are in Tulsa Remote, start going to the co-working space. But I think everything worked out the way it needed to, because I still had so much to do, like having people coming into the house doing things. I had to like sit around and wait. So it was like, because I would be tempted to want to go there, and I can't go there because I'm waiting for an appointment that's going to be at like 1:00 in the afternoon, and having meetings in the morning. So next week or the week after, I can now finally like, all right, packing my bag. We're going to go sit at the co-working space, work there for a few hours, get some stuff done, meet people, socialize, go to some after work events. First Friday, the event that I went to in August, that's going to be next week. I already RSVP. I plan to go again, network, meet people, show my face, start shaking some hands, because I need people to know that Miss Inspiration is in town. And I got to show up and show out to be the person that I know I am, and to do the work that God has called me to do here, whatever that is. So I am anticipating on being very social, within my comfort means, and not overexerting my social battery, right? And I think that's something that we tend to do so often, because we want to be out there. It's a new area. We want everybody to know I still got to pace myself, because I know me. And the one thing that I don't want to do is continue to go the route of trying to do too much, too fast, too soon. And then I get frustrated, and then I want to shut down. This is the reason why even being on social media, doing my videos, I want to get back into that and get in a consistent, healthy space of doing that, so that I'm not doing too much. I used to do Facebook Lives every single day for like 4 or 5 months. And that became very exhausting, because people are pulling and tugging. Even like this kind of video, I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes, because I know like we can't go over. We got to stop doing too much. Give them a little bit and then pull back, come back, right? So I have a lot of things to talk about this entire journey of what has been happening in the last week and a half. I've been here now for a week and a half. There's a lot that I'm learning about myself. There's a lot that I'm learning about, change and taking risks, that I want to talk and I want to share with you, because I know that someone out there needs it. So I thank you for being here. I hope that you have liked and subscribed. Share this video with someone. Someone might need it. They might need that encouragement. They might just need to know that someone out there, some crazy girl from Brooklyn, New York, packed up her car, drove 1,390 miles to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a change in their life. And they might need to hear that, because it might be a place that they want to go, or a place that they are considering looking into, and they don't know if it's right for them. I'm going to tell you this. You will never know if it's right for you until you actually go and do it. And when you go and do it with a positive mindset. Open up your eyes and your mind to see like what is all here that's for me. And some places might not be it. And that's fine too. But you can't go in there with a negative mindset. You can't go in there looking at all the negative and nitpicking at every single thing, because you're not going to get the experience. You're not going to get the abundance that you're supposed to actually experience there, because you're focusing on the negative. I'm going to leave that there because we can always talk about that. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Make sure you're following me on TikTok at ProfessorInspiration. Also follow me on Instagram at Tanisha Shanae. I am your girl. Be well, be blessed. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you guys. And then you always know God loves you as